Today's adventure brings us to Valleyfair in Shakopee, Minnesota. Day 2 of my Minnesota tour. Welcome everybody. It's like I said, day 2 of my Minnesota tour, and I'm taking advantage of my Cedar Point Gold Pass, all parks access, to go to Valleyfair while it's still under the transition. More to come. I'll expand upon what all of that means, but since I'm in the Minneapolis area, I drove 15 minutes out to Shakopee and wanted to see Valleyfair. So I'm just gonna walk around, take in the vibes, get some food, and see what all it has to offer. So follow along. This is where the fun begins. I finally got scanned in. There's a little bit of a disconnect with the divestiture and the transition. I had to get passes printed out, one for my day pass and then a second one for a day souvenir cup drink pass to match what I was using from Cedar Point. A little bit of a background, and I just looked this up on Wikipedia, so I'm by no means an expert on Valleyfair. It opened in 1973. It was acquired or merged with Cedar Point back in 1976 as a way to raise capital to make capital improvements to Valleyfair, which was in its infancy. So that created the Cedar Fair organization, and Cedar Point and Cedar Point and Valleyfair, gosh, this is confusing, were sister parks for decades. And located, our corporate was located in Sandusky at Cedar Point's headquarters, and then back in 2024 is when Cedar Fair merged with Six Flags. So at that point, all of the parks had synergies and became Six Flags was the company name. And then last year, so that was 2024 as they all became Six Flags. And then earlier this year in March of 2026, Six Flags divested Valleyfair and several other of the Six Flags properties to Enchanted Brands. So right now they're managing 2026 under a transition, which is why the systems weren't really talking too well. And they're honoring the Gold Pass with the All Parks Passport, which I signed up for at the tail end of 2025 to get that benefit. So they're honoring that through 2026. It just looks a little bit different on how they execute it. So going forward, it's going to be a part of Enchanted Parks. Who knows what they're going to do as far as branding? Is it going to be called Valleyfair? Are they going to have the Peanuts, which is exclusive now to Six Flags? Cedar Point re-upped the contract with Peanuts through like 2030. Anyway, dumping a lot of exposition here, but that's kind of where we're at. So taking advantage of visiting while I can without paying out of pocket, I guess, in the future, which is always an option. So let's walk around and get a sense of the place. For example, right as you walk through, you've got Snoopy and all of his bird friends. So not sure if that's going to stay or not. Starting off the day per usual with my Coke Zero. I don't know if they have Coke Freestyle machines, but the single day drink plan ticket works, and we're good to go from that front. So nothing like a cold pop on a 94-degree July afternoon. As the announcer says, please be sure to drink plenty of water on this hot, sunny day. Walking through and seeing wet pavement only means one thing. We're about to get soaked. Am I dumb enough to go on that, or smart enough? I had a lot of trust. Well, there's mist. I got a lot of mist. A lot of trust that the big water drops wouldn't go far, but a little bit of moisture on the lens. A lot of burgers on this food sign. I don't know which restaurant these pertain to, but they've got a Lucy Joe, a Swine Lucy, Brewski Lucy, a Minnesota Sushi Juicy Lucy, and a Creamy Cheesy Cherry Lucy. A Juicy Lucy is a thing here. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna have to Google that. But it seems like they've got different entertainment offerings and bands over the weekend. This probably indicates something about the upcoming Juicy Lucy Festival. Have to get more information. It must be some type of a cheeseburger, if this is in fact a Juicy Lucy. After a quick Google search, a Juicy Lucy is a cheeseburger where the cheese is stuffed inside of the meat, so inside of the burger patty. So when you bite into it, you'll have an explosion of cheese versus the, I would say, the proper method, or the method proper, of putting the cheese above or below it. So it's just inside the patty. So learn something new every day. Much like Cedar Point, they have their own corkscrew ride. I get past the Juicy Lucy thing. Not exactly sure how it differs, but probably purchased and installed at the same time while under Cedar Fair. Just simple to get the same ride ordered twice and put it in both parks. It looks like I just missed the Juicy Lucy Festival from the hours of 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. I didn't scan in until about 6 p.m. so I missed it, but you can see the prices here at the kiosks. You've got a single Lucy for $8, a double for $15, and a triple for $20. So that Brewski Lucy, that's you know what? I would have certainly tried one of those. So a little bit of a bummer, didn't get here in time. It's a nice little shot, a fountain with a little bit of a waterfall coming down a little bit of a hill. That's pretty cool. Nice part of the park to relax. Some shade trees, which I think is severely needed at Cedar Point. So that's something that's nice here. And then up there, you've got the power tower, which I'm sure, again, probably installed in the 90s, right about the same time that Cedar Point put theirs in. I find my way to Planet Snoopy, which is something that we enjoy at Cedar Point with the kids a lot. So again, wonder what happens with all of that and the licensing next year when the transition is over and everything is fully with Enchanted Brands. Here's the main entrance to Planet Snoopy. A little bit bigger than the smaller Planet Snoopy at Cedar Point. They've got their own little stage for character meet and greets. Show times 4 times between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. This is Snoopy's Rocket Express, where they've got this elevated, almost like a monorail track that goes around up top there. A nice little elevated slow ride for kids. That's pretty cool. Curious to see if they've got a Camp Snoopy. Their Planet Snoopy seems to be much bigger than Cedar Point's. And you know, perhaps this is their only kid land, which makes sense. But yeah, it seems like there's a good variety of things here for the kiddos to do. That's a pretty cool little fountain. And then in the background, you've got the Peanuts 500, a ride that we're familiar with. And then the swing ride, Skyhawk, I think it is. Curious to see what their name is for it. Gavin's World, this one is for you. This is Valleyfair's Wild Mouse equivalent. I think this has been here for quite some time. A little bit different than Cedar Point variety that has the Omni Mover type cars. These ones are fixed forward versus the forever turning ones over at Cedar Point. So not that this whole video is comparing Cedar Fair to Cedar Point, it's just interesting to see where they have similarities, you know, kind of like Disneyland and Disney World, where, you know, they'll repeat attractions. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as example, prime example, where you can duplicate rides and probably save money in doing so. At the back of the park is their Superior Shores Waterpark. Tonight they actually have a Passholder event. They're normally closed by 6 p.m., but they're open until 8:30 for Passholders, meet and greets, things like that. And then the water park kind of wraps around the back of the park with some water slides and things of the like. Taking a look for magnets, keepsakes that we usually collect for anywhere we go to. Something to commemorate for posterity. Seems to be the different ones that they have. Oh, that's pretty cool. Lists out all of the ride names. Same with this one. I like that one. It's got the classic merry-go-round horse on it. Pretty neat. Keepsake acquired. And they let me use my Cedar Point discount. Pretty good. That's the ride they called Renegade. And it is a classic wooden coaster. Well, that wood looks pretty new. It's pretty well maintained. But if I know anything about wood roller coasters, they will break your back. Now, Steel Vengeance, on the other hand, at Cedar Point, it's a little bit more steel than it is wood, at least the track part. It's nice and smooth, but I don't want to give that a chance and give that a risk. I'm chicken. I'm getting even further back to the back of the park. There's this tunnel that is just past Renegade. Goes under some of the bigger tube slides of the water park, and they have their own version of Thunder Canyon. It looks like it's closed today. There are boats going with no people, perhaps open a little bit earlier in the day, but certainly a refreshing ride when it's 95 degrees. And at the time of recording this, it is 94 still, with extreme heat warnings through Thursday the 16th. Oh, that's just the viewing area that was closed apparently. They've got people going on rafts. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, but seriously though, they had 2 or 3 straight that didn't have anybody on it. There must just not be that many people in line. I have reached the furthest point, and Excalibur seems to be the last ride along this path. However, it's got stanchions up as it's closed at the moment. But yet there are people. I'm like really confused of what's going on. So this is the exit. So that must have been the last car going if they are in fact closed. See, I'm not crazy, but there were people on there. Had to have been the last car of the day. Tonight at Superior Shores, their water park, they had a pass holder after our event. Obviously I'm not swimming, I'm not even riding rides, but I went in just to scope it out and see what it looked like. They gave out these complimentary beach balls. So this will pack away nicely and be something I can use at home. So a nice little souvenir as a Passholder park. Passholder perk. There we go. And I got another Coke as it blows away. But hey, we've got a breeze. It's still 91 degrees at 7:30 at night, so the breeze is pretty nice. This is their Wild Thing coaster. Kind of looks like Magnum height-wise, maybe a little shorter. I don't know, are they going to get me on a ride tonight? Not much of a line, pretty much a walk-on. We'll see. I think I'm gonna give it a go. I'm in line. Stuff all packed away in my pockets. And that's the first lift hill. So I'm gonna try to go first row. Maybe I'm rethinking this a little bit. All right, so it was about a half-hour ride.
I got yelled at for being up there, so you might also be.
2 minutes for the actual ride itself, and then about 28 minutes on the platform. My car train is up there. This is the one that was right in front of us, and that's my first evac from a ride. Not just at Valleyfair, but anywhere. As we got done with the last part of it, they apparently tripped a fault that they couldn't fix, so they didn't even want to advance the carts forward. They evacuated the line about 20 minutes ago, and there is my train. I rode front row, and yeah, just a view sitting in the face of the sun. Had to use my hand as a shield there, but there's a look at the picture. Can't really see it, but me in the front row. Other than that, it was pretty fun. Well, that's interesting. I didn't realize they had a train station, or a train. It's not the station, but the tracks. Train station is where you take dead bodies. If you know, you know. A familiar sight. Coasters Drive-In, just like Cedar Point. Burgers, fries, and shakes. I need to figure out dinner. Do I want to get a $20 burger, even though at least the one at Cedar Point kind of hits the spot? I'll have to think about that. I ended up going with Old Reliable from Coasters. They wouldn't let me do French fries and onion rings, which are frings, which normally you could do. So I had to pick onion rings. I guess it's a vegetable. I got the cheeseburger that I think's in there, and my third Coke Zero of the day. Put some mayo on there. Hey, and it's down to 91 degrees at 8:30. Got that going for us. It's nice. As good as it gets. Also forgot to mention, Valleyfair is celebrating their 50 years of operation with the Juicy Lucy Festival and 50 years of fun. Maybe I'm second guessing my dinner choice. I haven't really been eating that well this week. And there's a Subway right there. However, with all of the things going on in the country with parasites, maybe not eating vegetables for a while is the play. As I walk out, they just made the announcement of the park closing in 20 minutes. But they've got some lights on. Yeah, they might have been on all day, but pretty nice touch in the trees walking down the midway. From here you can see the lift hill from Wild Thing, the main hill, and you go down and then you come up over this here, and it goes down, I would say, the south side of the park, and then it does a circle and loops and then goes back the other way. That's the one I got stuck on. Like any park day, I think that we're going to end at Gateway Grounds, where they probably serve Starbucks. I struck out. They've only got decaf today, apparently. So I'll acquire my caffeine on the way home, perhaps. Well, as the sun sets in the west, that's going to do it for us today. For me today, here at Valleyfair. My first time visiting. Will I be back? Not sure. It's no longer part of my season's pass at Six Flags, but hey, it doesn't stop me from getting a day ticket next time that me or the family are in town. So all in all, it was a pretty fun day. Nice clean park. Bathrooms, I think, had the leg up on Cedar Point, and we'll see what happens with the new owners. I think that they certainly want to do good things since they paid a lot of money for the parks, and yeah, be interested to see that. So anyway, thanks for following along, and we'll see you in the next one. Bonus footage. Wicked Twister.